Hello again everyone, Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be talking about who I think the best YouTube astrologer is. Now, I did a video about this, it was like 2 or 3 years ago, but now, and I had selected who I thought was the best YouTube astrologer, but now somebody has usurped, in lack of better words, usurped that title from this person that originally had the title, according to me anyway, as the best YouTube astrologer. So now it's going to be somebody different for 2019. So anyway, let me get started. I'm going to talk about some of these great, very renowned, prominent YouTube astrologers before I get to the final one. You know, most of you know my Taurus rising routine. What I do in a lot of these videos, I save the best for last, and sometimes it's the worst depending on what kind of video it is, but in this case it's the best for last. So anyway, well, first one I want to talk about is the peace dealer, Michael Neb. He's got really very ingenious, creative videos, has a good amount of subscribers. He does, I love the creativity that he uses. He had something about how the zodiac signs wake up and how they drink or something. And he also allows, he has, I think they're called like peace talks, where he interviews YouTube astrologers. I think it's very good. It helps, really helps promote those YouTube channels that are connected with those astrologers, and I mean, and it's something that that people are very interested in. So I mean, those are some ways that may, I mean, those are some things that I really like about his channel, and he's really one of the best ones out there. And he's really, again, he very, like the title of Peace Dealer, he's all about peace. There's really not a lot of really any hateful things that he's talking about. He might talk about some adverse aspects or transits, but everything is very put in a very peaceful manner, and he's one of the better ones out there. So anyway, next thing up, Pam Gregory, very great, very good YouTube astrologer, very clear, explains things in a very perspicacious, very calm, composed manner. She seems to have very good conception and understanding of, like, when she's talking about like a new moon or a full moon transit coming up, and how other transits can be very intensified during that time. Is a very good understanding of that, and really takes her time giving her, and when I say take her time, I don't mean derogatory, but I mean she takes the time, I should say, to give a lot of information about these transits, and she's one of the more proficient YouTube astrologers out there. So anyway, next one up, I'll talk about Alyssa Sharp. Now, Alyssa Sharp is one of the best ones. I had her at #1 on that original one. Some of you may remember that first one I did about the best, who I thought was the best YouTube astrologer. She's still one of the best ones out there. I think she's like in the top 5 right now. But she's very whimsical and very flippant. She incorporates a lot of humor into her videos, which are very good, and shows very extensive knowledge in them. She's very forthright and candid in them. She doesn't hold back. She was talking about the zodiac sign Cancer. I don't know if it was like one of those, like what I hate about Cancer. It might have been something similar. You can look that up on her channel though. But she was talking about something about detrimental, temperamental, and hold on a moment, people. Let me turn this thing off, and I'm gonna continue momentarily. Turn this baby off here. I'm sorry about that. Yeah, generally I have my phone off during these sessions. I didn't think it was actually going to ring. I'm one of the more unpopular people in the United States, and I was very surprised that I actually got some kind of message from somebody. So anyway, next thing up, back to business. Sunnyside, I think he is one of the best ones out there. Very creative. He has these the most blank zodiac sign series, or it could either be the most blank zodiac sign, or something like the which sign is such and such, or are they like the shyest, for example. So there's always like, you know, one of like, he has a lot of videos on which he selects the certain zodiac sign that is associated with a certain trait or attribute or what have you. It's very pioneering. I think the series is very compelling, and I believe he's a Scorpio sun, so being a Scorpio sun, I'm sure he gives a lot of deep, provocative insight, in-depth reasoning as to, and he's very in-depth in terms of why he selects that zodiac sign for whatever it may be, whether it's the shyest or what have you. So anyway, well, the next person we'll talk about is Lada, if I'm saying her name correctly, Lada Doncheva. She touches on elements and aspects and of things in astrology and the charts and in your transits or what have you that a lot of other people, astrologers, may not touch up on certain nuances. She obviously is knows really detailed information about astrology. She has a number of predictive videos which are connected with attaining greater prosperity or wealth or love, and it's a lot of which is things that people really do want to see. And it's really about how people can really it's things that can be very beneficial to others. She gives insight into applying and separating aspects which a lot of astrologers will not talk about, as far as if it's transits, and I'm sure she talks about it as far as transits and natally. And even in me, I mainly when I do, many of you may have seen when I first started doing my astrology videos, I did some with the aspects. I did a number of them, a plethora of them, with aspects that were connected with the planets and the MC and the ascendant. And I didn't really talk about whether it was what was different as far as separating and applying aspects. I just talked about the aspects in general. There's a lot of astrologers, I believe, that really touch up on that. So that's what makes her really one of the better YouTube astrologers out there, one of the best ones out there. And she's obviously attained a lot of notoriety, a lot of popularity, and has a lot of subscribers. She is one of the best ones out there. Now, I don't know if I'm saying his name right, Kapiel Raj. He's a Vedic astrologer, but I'm not, obviously, because I'm Western, I'm not going to discriminate against Vedic astrology. Is for people that are interested in Vedic and that's what they believe and they find that more plausible than the Western, then that's what suits them. And sure, for Vedic, he is very good, very proficient. He has a plethora of astrology videos. I think it's over 2,000 videos on his channel. Very good subscription count. I think he's got well over 200,000 subscribers, I believe, on his channel. He is really one of those. I think it's actually close to 300,000 subscribers. I believe he is one of the more popular ones out there. Of course, he's been doing this for some time, and he puts a lot of. He just works relentlessly on these videos, and he has really helped a lot of people out with his insightful work, insightful videos. So that is something as far as he goes. He's definitely one of the better ones out there. He very well may be the best Vedic astrologer out there. He's certainly one of the more prominent and popular ones out there. So anyway, well, next thing up, I want to talk about Steve Judd. Steve Judd is obviously this Virgo ascendant. He's very analytical and very reticent, very striking. He's a very humble person. He's really one of the better YouTube astrologers out there. He talks about manifold astrological subjects, and he seems to be very current and up to date. When something new comes out, it's something of relevance. I think he had done, you could verify and check this on his channel, of course, but there was something like that Planet X or something that had come out, and he had elaborated. He gave his insights on that, if I remember correctly. And he's actually one of the more consistent, punctual, and reliable ones out there. You can really count on him to get those videos up at the certain time when people are anticipating him. He's very concise, very much to the point in them. So he's one of the better ones out there, one of the best YouTube astrologers in my opinion. That Virgo rising really comes out strong with him. Again, very punctilious with details, very analytical, and very precise with what he in his work. So next thing I want to talk about Deborah Silverman. She obviously very learned, has a lot of experience, shares a lot of profuse knowledge, and has a lot of obviously her credentials to back her up. She's very encouraging, expansive. She even has I believe online astrological training, and she's like that person that's really strikes me as somebody, a YouTube astrologer that's just really there for the people, and for to really as far as actually helping others and really becoming more learned in this great subject that we have, and provides her own teaching and training for these people that want to ascend from, whether it's that novice level or what have you, to become really more, again, assimilating more astrological information to reach a higher level as far as their knowledge goes in astrology. So I see her as one of the best YouTube astrologers out there. Hold on a moment, people. Sorry about that, people. Anyway, next person I want to talk about is Patrick Arundel. He's really has exorbitant knowledge of this subject, and very profuse astrological knowledge. He's what he does is, his knowledge as far as transits and progressions in astrology is one of the best that I have ever seen. He's very he's articulate. He has very awesome, very transit the horoscope forecast videos. He's very understandable, talks in a very clear and lucid manner, and again, he is one of the best ones out there. He brings vast knowledge of astrological information. His video is very an extensive experience on this subject of this great subject of astrology. And also, like Pam Gregory, has a very calm, composed manner when he does the videos, and they're very readily understood. So anyway, well, last but not least, I'm saving the best for last, and I'm going to crown David Lawrence Palmer, aka the Leo King, as the best YouTube astrologer. I'm going to talk a little bit about expound on why I believe he is. Well, the thing about David is there's certainly not enough superlatives to use to describe David. He's one of the biggest influencers in astrology right now. He was in a video, the name of it is like, who are the new I don't forget the exact title, the new influencers in astrology. You could look that up on YouTube, and he was in that video. I see him as one. He could, as far as YouTube astrology goes, though, and as far as YouTube astrologers, I think he may unequivocally has made maybe perhaps the biggest impact and influence on others, because he has many platforms that he has used to share his vast knowledge, and he has made many accurate predictions throughout the years with his great transit videos. He has a prodigious volume of videos on his channel, and he brings this great expansive and exuberant energy into them, and incorporating spirituality in videos as well. He brings incorporates a lot of love and light in them, and what he does is he even lets you know what you can derive positively from even adverse aspects. He is somebody that he has, as far as what he's been able to do in terms of getting this information out there, as far as YouTube astrologers go, may be unprecedented, because he has, the Leo King app. He has, he does the YouTube astrology videos, of course, and he's also, he's been featured on Steve Harvey's show. He's been on regular national TV. He's been on, he also was on Yahoo one time, and he had been talking to somebody on there and sharing some astrological information on there. So it's really what this comes down to. When I look at, as far as evaluating who I'm going to ascertain in terms of who the best YouTube astrologer is, what it comes down to, it's the combination of, it's really the knowledge, it's the fact that, he has, it's what he's been able to do, the knowledge, and of course what he's been able to do as far as his influence and on astrology, and getting others to actually accept it more out there and spreading that word, so to speak. He was in that video that he was in about the new astrology influencers. He had touched on a very good point. It was a very good analogy and correlation he had made. I don't remember the exact words on it, but basically what was stated in that video, what he said, what was in it, was how there were some space probes, and where they have ascended to at a certain point in space seems to correlate with where the acceptance is in astrology as far as the human consciousness goes, and just our general acceptance of astrology. Astrology now is something where, we can, as far as right now, 2019, could very well be more widely accepted now than it has ever been, and has gone beyond the barriers that might have held it back previously. And David made a very excellent point about being able to go on TV more now and have astrology being accepted without being chastised or condemned for it. And I think now it's something where astrology has been very strongly more accepted by others in general now, where people are less likely to be mocked and ridiculed for it. So I'm not saying that people aren't being mocked as far as their belief in astrology goes to some degree, but a far less degree now. And I think he has actually put it to where he has been, as far as YouTube astrologers go, he has been the one that has been able to actually become the most influential as far as that goes, because of the really diverse platforms, or whatever you want to call it, that he's used to actually put that information out there and for it to be accepted. I would not be surprised if sometime in the near future, well, it could be fairly near future, that David will have it'll be some kind of regular astrology. It'd be like maybe a show that will be on like a regular, like a national, like a cable channel that would be on very consistently. And I think due to him and other astrologers out there, will be able to inspire this kind of activity, or whatever you want to call it, that will be able, where astrology, where a series might actually be able to go on like an actual cable channel, assuming if there isn't one on there already. And I could see this where this could be coming really more mainstream as time progresses now. So those are some things to look at. And I think, since it's unbelievable, since like 2012, it seems like 2011, the proliferation of YouTube astrologers is unbelievable. And I think David had a lot to do with it. If I'm not mistaken, David started his channel, I think it was late 2011, and he figured prominently, I think, in inspiring others to do it. Now, Alyssa Sharp was someone that had actually inspired me to start my channel in September of 2012. But at least near the beginning point where I started it, Alyssa and David, I believe, were ones that played an integral role in me sustaining this drive to keep doing my videos. So David, I believe, has played some role to some degree, even though Alyssa was the one that actually got me jump started, so to speak, on my YouTube astrology videos. So anyway, people, I think David has, again, I want to say David is also, I think, he's arguably been the most inspirational in terms of inspiring other YouTube astrologers like myself to get things going and to start doing and start putting themselves out there and let others know about astrology and put their own perspective, incorporate their own perspective and in their style into it. So anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for who I believe the best YouTube astrologer is, and stay tuned next time where I am going to be continuing my monthly horoscope segments. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.